Welcome along, fellow time travelers. This time around, we're going to check out the strange history of Lyndhurst Mansion in Tarrytown, New York, and its association with dark shadows. Before I begin, please like and share the show and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now let's begin our journey. Nestled on a 67-acre estate overlooking the Hudson River in Tarrytown, New York, which is a bit north of Manhattan, Lyndhurst Mansion stands as one of the finest examples of Gothic Revival architecture in the United States. Designed by architect Alexander Jackson Davis, the mansion's history spans nearly 2 centuries as of the time of this recording, reflecting the evolving tastes, wealth, and cultural shifts of its prominent owners. Its striking silhouette, with pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and ornate details, has also made it a recognizable backdrop in popular culture, most notably as the Collinwood Mansion in the Dark Shadows feature films. In this show, we are going to explore Lyndhurst's historical significance, architectural features, and its connection to the Gothic soap opera Dark Shadows. Lyndhurst's story begins way back in 1838, when William Paulding, a former New York City mayor and congressman, commissioned Alexander Jackson Davis to design a country villa. Paulding, seeking a retreat from urban life, chose a picturesque site along the Hudson River, a region celebrated for its scenic beauty and romanticized by the Hudson River school painters. Completed in 1842, the estate was initially named Knoll and embodied the Gothic Revival style, which was gaining popularity in America for its picturesque and romantic aesthetic, evoking medieval European castles and abbeys. The mansion's first major transformation came between 1864 and 1865, when George Merritt, a wealthy New York merchant, purchased the property and hired Davis to expand it. Merritt doubled the mansion's size, adding a 4-story tower, a new dining room, and additional bedrooms, renaming it Lyndhurst after the linden trees on the estate. This expansion enhanced the mansion's grandeur, making it a showpiece of opulence and architectural sophistication. In 1880, railroad tycoon Jay Gould acquired Lyndhurst as a summer residence and retreat from his controversial business dealings. Gould, one of America's most infamous financiers, made few changes to the mansion, but used it as a sanctuary until his death in 1892. His daughter, Helen Gould, inherited the estate and maintained it as a family home, preserving its Victorian character. After her death in 1938, her sister, Anna Gould, Duchess of Talleyrand Perigord, owned Lyndhurst until 1961, when she bequeathed it to the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Since then, Lyndhurst has been open to the public as a historic site, offering a window into 19th century American life and architecture. Now let's talk about its architecture, shall we? Lyndhurst is a masterpiece of Gothic Revival architecture, a style that flourished in the 19th century as a reaction against the symmetry and restraint of neoclassicism. Alexander Jackson Davis, a leading proponent of the style, infused Lyndhurst with elements inspired by medieval European architecture, tailored to American sensibilities. The mansion's exterior is characterized by its asymmetrical silhouette, pointed arches, ribbed vaulting, and intricate tracery, all hallmarks of the Gothic Revival. Constructed from Sing Sing marble, a local limestone, the mansion's light gray facade glows in the sunlight, enhancing its ethereal, almost otherworldly presence. The original 1842 structure featured a central hall with radiating rooms, a steeply pitched roof, and tall, narrow windows with diamond pane glazing. The 1864 to 1865 expansion added a dramatic 4-story tower with a steeply gabled roof, battlements, and finials, amplifying the mansion's castle-like appearance. The interior is equally striking, with vaulted ceilings, pointed arched doorways, and elaborate plasterwork. The dining room, added during Merritt's ownership, features a faux marbleized finish and a coffered ceiling, while the parlor showcases Tiffany stained glass windows, a testament to the era's craftsmanship. Lyndhurst landscape design, influenced by the picturesque movement, complements its architecture. The rolling lawns, specimen trees, and winding paths were designed to evoke a romantic, almost melancholic atmosphere, aligning with the Gothic Revival's emphasis on emotion and nature. The estate's greenhouse, built in 1881, is one of the earliest surviving examples of its kind in the US, with a steel frame and glass enclosure that housed exotic plants for the Gould family. The mansion's interiors reflect the Victorian era's eclectic tastes, blending Gothic elements with Renaissance Revival and Rococo influences. Furniture, designed by Davis himself, including intricately carved chairs and tables, remains in the house, alongside period pieces collected by the Gould family. The art gallery, added during the Merritt expansion, displays a collection of European and American paintings, reflecting the owner's wealth and cultural aspirations. Alrighty, now the part you've been waiting for. Its association with dark shadows. Lyndhurst's Gothic aesthetic made it a natural choice for the Dark Shadows franchise, a Gothic soap opera that captivated audiences with its blend of supernatural drama and melodrama. While the original Dark Shadows TV series from 1966 to 1971 primarily used Seaview Terrace, the Carey Mansion, in Newport, Rhode Island, for exterior shots of the fictional Collinwood Mansion, and Spratt Mansion in Tarrytown for the Old House, Lyndhurst took center stage in the two feature films inspired by the series, House of Dark Shadows in 1970 and Night of Dark Shadows in 1971. In House of Dark Shadows, directed by Dan Curtis, Lyndhurst's imposing exterior and lush grounds served as a perfect stand-in for Collinwood, the ancestral home of the vampire Barnabas Collins and his, let's just say, dysfunctional family. The mansion's turreted silhouette, pointed arches, and shadowy interiors amplified the film's eerie atmosphere, complementing the story's themes of cursed lineage and supernatural horror. Scenes filmed at Lyndhurst include exterior shots of the mansion and sequences in its grand interiors, where characters grapple with Barnabas's vampiric curse. Let's hear you say that 10 times. Barnabas's vampiric curse. Barnabas's vampire... Oh, forget it. Moving on. Okay, fine, try it. Try it, seriously. Barnabas's vampiric curse. Barnabas's vampiric curse. You think this is easy? It's not as easy as it seems, you know. Alright, let's move on. Night of Dark Shadows, the second film, again used Lyndhurst as Collinwood, this time focusing on a haunting by the ghost of Angelique, a witch from the series. The mansion's Gothic ambience, with its dark wood paneling, stained glass windows, and cavernous rooms, enhanced the film's ghostly tone. Lyndhurst grounds, with their winding paths and moody vistas, also featured prominently, reinforcing the sense of isolation and foreboding central to the Dark Shadows narrative. The choice of Lyndhurst for these films was no accident. Its architectural style and historical aura aligned perfectly with the Dark Shadows aesthetic, which drew heavily on Gothic literature and 19th century Romanticism. The mansion's real-world history as a retreat for wealthy, enigmatic figures like Jay Gould further mirrored the fictional Collins family, whose wealth and secrets drive the series' drama. Lyndhurst's appearance in the films cemented its status as a cultural icon, drawing fans of Dark Shadows, like me and probably even you, to visit the estate and experience its haunting beauty firsthand. Now let's talk about Lyndhurst today. Since its acquisition by the National Trust for Historic Preservation in 1961, Lyndhurst has been meticulously preserved as a historic site, Visitors can tour the mansion, its grounds, and the greenhouse, gaining insight into 19th century architecture and the lives of its owners. The estate hosts events, exhibitions, and educational programs, including Gothic-themed tours that capitalize on its dark shadows connection. The mansion's preservation ensures that its architectural and historical significance endures, while its pop culture legacy continues to attract new generations of visitors. Lyndhurst's role in Dark Shadows remains a highlight of its cultural impact. The films, though less celebrated than the TV series, introduced Lyndhurst to a wider audience, and its image as Collinwood persists in the imaginations of fans. The mansion's Gothic splendor, combined with its storied past, makes it a fitting symbol of the Dark Shadows universe, where history, mystery, and the supernatural intertwine. From its origins as William Paulding's Retreat, to its ownership by Jay Gould, and its preservation by the National Trust, the mansion reflects the ambitions and aesthetics of America's 19th century elite. Its architectural features, pointed arches, vaulted ceilings, and picturesque grounds make it a standout example of its style. Its association with Dark Shadows adds a layer of intrigue, linking it to a beloved Gothic franchise and ensuring its place in popular culture. Today, Lyndhurst stands as both a historical treasure and a cinematic landmark, inviting visitors to step into its storied halls and experience the Gothic allure that captivated audiences in the Dark Shadows films. So, what do you think of Lyndhurst Mansion? If you were a vampire who was rolling in dough, would you live in a place like that? You know I would. In fact, maybe I already do. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Please check out the links below to learn how to support my research and productions. In fact, please check out campfireshop.com and order some candles, herbal supplements, teas, and more. Kindly be kind to all of our fellow vampires, earthlings, and please do not harm them. And do yourself a favor and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat or a dog or both. You and they will be very glad that you did. Until next time, especially if you're a vampire, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.